Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to discuss about the most emerging, the most used and the most talked about technology of today's era, and that is artificial intelligence. Today I'll be telling you that what actually we meant from artificial intelligence, that what are the skills required, how AI actually works, what is the career path for taking AI as your career, and what are the applications and all those things. What are the companies that use AI? All the things today we'll be discussing about in this particular video. Right, so let's get started here. First of all, I would be telling you about the definition of AI. That what we just meant from the definition of AI, what we just understand from this particular term which we are having. Right, it's a very hi-fi term that we will understand. The intelligence demonstrated by machines is known as artificial intelligence. Okay, and artificial intelligence refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think like humans and mimic their actions. Okay, now AI, that is artificial intelligence. It is a type of intelligence, a type of technology in which the machines which we actually make, that are programmed in such a way that they can actually think like humans and perform all the actions which a human performs. This whole technology, this whole intelligence is actually what we call as artificial intelligence. Let's take out the example here for the robots. What are robots? Robots are actually trained out in a way nowadays. Whatever robots are being made, they are trained in such a way that they can perform all the actions like humans, right? That they can like just think out like humans. They can perform all the actions that a human performs, right? So this is the use of AI in today's era, right? This is why we just use out the AI. This is the main use of artificial intelligence in nowadays. There are many more things which are actually like being working right now, but this is the best example for performing out the AI, that is artificial intelligence. So, our intelligence in which machines are programmed in such a way that they can think like the humans and perform the actions which a human actually performs. This whole intelligence is referred as artificial intelligence. Hope you just got this artificial intelligence in a very simple way and a very simple definition for explaining that what AI means. Going on to a hi-fi definition is not the correct way, right? You just need to understand that what it actually means. Either it is a very simple language or it is a very hi-fi language. Fine. Okay. What I would just do here is that I would just first of all come down a little bit, and I would just take out a pen color from here. Let me just go on with this one, and I would just draw out a circle. Let's say this is my circle which I have drawn out here. Find this circle. Now, what I would actually do out here is that I would give this circle as a name, that is artificial intelligence. Okay, so let me just write out artificial, and I would just write here as intelligence. Now, why I am just doing this particular thing, that will be letting you know in a little while. Okay, fine. So this is artificial. Let's say this is one of the circles that I have drawn out, and that is actually my artificial intelligence. Fine. Now, till this point, you have got out that what AI actually means and what is the best use of AI nowadays, which is actually taking place. The real life example that you have got out, right? Now let's see that what are the skills required. What are the skills required for going into the AI developer job? Right? This is also a very main thing that we need to understand here. Fine. So, okay, just let me take out a pen that actually works onto this color. So let me just take out let's say this one. Fine. So now we'll be seeing about that what are skills required for AI developer jobs. So the very first one is knowledge of programming language, that you all are familiar with, right? We should have a good knowledge and a proper knowledge of a programming language. Let's say it is Python, let's say it is R, whatever just suits to you, whatever you are just frequent and fluent with, that you can just go upon with a particular programming language which you prefer out. Strong mathematical skills, very important thing into the field of artificial intelligence. In the mathematical skills, I can just say about the some topics, let's say that are matrices and determinants, that are let's say linear algebra, statistics, probability. See, it is already mentioned in a separate point as well, that the mastery of a statistics and probability, right? So make sure to just have a good knowledge of a statistics and probability. And at last, efficiency in adapting to tech tools, like basically we had a lot of tools which we need to actually work upon, right? So in that case, these are some of the skills which are required for the AI developers, right? These are requirements which you need to fulfill for the artificial intelligence. Fine. Now, Okay, so I just told you that what are the things that you need to just go upon. Now, what is the proper learning path? How you should learn out, right? Because knowing out the things that these are the things which you need to work upon, that is too much simple. But following out a proper path for learning each and everything, that you should have the good knowledge of, right? If you're just not having anything, then you, let's say, that you start from the last to the first, this will not work, right? You need to start from the very basics and then go up to the advanced level. Fine, this is the whole idea. So now I'm just going to tell you, find that particular thing. So the very first step that you should go on is introduction to AI, artificial intelligence. You should have, first of all, you should know, understand that what artificial intelligence is. Fine, fine. You should have a proper knowledge of artificial intelligence, what it is, and basically what are the roles which you are actually having, so that you can just put out a put out a one role for you, that okay, you need to go and apply for this particular job, you just want to go on to this particular, so you'll be learning out your things onto that particular way, right? First of all, you must have your own goal, that okay, you are going to learn AI, so after learning this AI, which job role you are going to apply. You want to go for AI developer, you want to go for BI developer, what are the things that you want to just go on with, right? You just need to choose out that particular thing. So you, in this first step, you have just understand about the artificial intelligence and chosen your particular path where you just want to go with this field, that is artificial intelligence. Second, as I mentioned in the previous slide, that it was you need to have a good knowledge of programming languages, right? So here we just come with the introduction to Python for data science. You should have a knowledge of the Python programming language, which is actually used in data science. So that is actually the whole of the basics of programming language, and after that basically there's not too much into this, but yeah, there are many libraries in the Python programming language which are actually used for data science. I would just name some of them. Let's say that are NumPy, some is Pandas, we have Matplotlib, we had Seaborn, we had Plotly. So these are some of the libraries which you should have a knowledge of, which are actually used in Python for the data science, and that is actually the second step for the career path in artificial intelligence. Right, moving towards the third, we have essential mathematics for artificial intelligence. So you have essential math for machine learning. So what are the mathematics you are needing for machine learning? That same is actually applied for the artificial intelligence as well. Say it statistics, say it probability, say it linear algebra. So these are all the mathematics tools which are actually applied in the AI, that is artificial intelligence. Fine. Then ethics and laws in the data and analytics. Now data and analytics, there are some you can say some ethics, some laws in the data analytics, that how to perform out. There's some tools as well into the data analytics, let's say Tableau. So these are all the things which you should have the good knowledge of and should be very much proficient with that particular thing. Fine. After that, we have the data science essentials. So data science essentials basically consist of the research methods which are actually there. That is okay. After that, you should have the knowledge of the models which are used in machine learning. Now, this is a very important step. That is step number 6, right? So you should have a good knowledge of the machine learning models. What do I just mean from a machine learning model? Let me just give you an idea, because I'll be discussing about this thing in a very much detail in the next video. But here let me give you an idea that there are many algorithms and models which are actually into the machine learning. Okay, so you should have the knowledge of that models and that algorithms which you use there, because that you'll be using here as well to train out your data, to train out your machines and come to a proper solution, come to a proper output for that particular thing, right? So there are several techniques which you have in machine learning that we'll be discussing in the next videos. We'll be getting out the whole detail about this thing as well. Fine. So after the models of the machine learning, we have building that deep learning models. Now deep learning models actually they work with the neural networks. So when I just told you about the definition of artificial intelligence, that is the intelligence which is applied to think, to make the machine think like the humans. So thinking is done by brain, right? And deep learning consists of basically dealing with the neural network, that is your brain neural networks, right? It totally acts upon your brain, that it totally works with that with that particular thing as well, right? Neural networks totally belong to your brain. So that is why here you just need to have a deep learning of the models of the deep learning. You should have a good knowledge of, right? So that you are able to train your machines in such a way that they can think like the humans, and that thing can be performed with the help of the deep learning models, because deep learning actually deals with the neural networks that are related to the brain. Fine. After that, building reinforcement learning models. So reinforcement learning is one of the machine learning techniques, is a very important technique in the machine learning. That is basically, let me give you an idea. Let's say you are having bananas and you are having apples. Okay. So in reinforcement learning, let's say you are having these two types of fruits with you, bananas and apples. So that banana, after you perform out the whole analysis, after perform out the whole functioning, so that bananas are separated and the apples are separated. If I talk about the real life example, so this is what we just call as a reinforcement learning. Fine, you have two mixed up of fruits. Okay, two mixed up fruits, some bananas into that and some apples. So after doing the processing, after doing the analysis, and after performing all the operations, when the apples are picked aside and the bananas are picked one on the another side. Okay, they both are separated. Then that is actually called a reinforcement learning model. I just gave you very much in a short way. In when we'll be discussing about the machine learning in the next video, so there will be discussing about the reinforcement learning in a very detail. Okay. Fine. And after you should develop the AI solution. Develop the AI solution means knowing the graphs, computer vision and image analysis, speech recognition, natural language processing. These are all the things which are actually needed, right? Okay. Computer vision, image analysis and speech recognition systems. Why we just use this? My definition for AI was that artificial intelligence is a type of intelligence in which machines are trained in such a way that they can think like the humans and perform all the operations that a human performs. Right? What humans actually speak. Right? They while seeing an image, they can just analyze that image. That okay, what is this image of? Okay, let's say I'm just right now seeing this whole chart, so I can just say that okay, this is a career path for the AI, right? This is what we can do. So this computer vision, this image analysis, this speech recognition, this knowledge of graphs, this natural language processing, these are all the things which are used here to treat the machines in such a way that they can even perform the operations which a human being performs, right? And after that, this is the like Microsoft Professional Capstone. That is actually okay, the final project which you can actually have the knowledge of. That is the secondary thing. Now, from step number 1 till 9, this is the whole procedure for going on to the career path for artificial intelligence. Introduction to AI, after that introduction to Python for data science, then essential mathematics for artificial intelligence. So here I mentioned about the statistics, probability and linear algebra, ethics and laws in data and analytics, data science essentials, building machine learning models, building deep learning models, building reinforcement learning models, and developed AI, applied AI solutions. Fine. Now, I'll be telling you that how actually AI works. Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me take this graph onto the other side a little bit so that it is properly visible. Okay, I'm sorry, just let me go back to that particular how AI works right here, and here this is the file. Okay, so how AI works, let's say we are having a data. Fine. So first of all, the data preparation and get the data. You need to have out the data and you need to prepare out the data. So preparing the data means designing, experimenting, formulating business problems. This is what first of all you need to do here. Fine. You just need to think upon that. Okay, you are having this data and what are the operations that you are going to perform here and what are the business problems that you are gonna solve today with this particular data. You should actually have one motto of yours that okay, you are designing, you are actually preparing the data. What is the final output that you actually want here? Fine. Okay, data preparation and get data, that is the very first step. After the second step is data analysis and visualization. So data analysis and visualization, that is actually done with the help of the libraries of Python. That is, you can say NumPy, that is Pandas, and we have Seaborn, Matplotlib, we have even some Tableau operations as well. So all of these things are done. So create reports, dashboards, surveys and presentations for data-driven analysis. Now data analysis, data visualization actually means showing the data, showing the form of a data into the pictorial representations. Pictorial representations means bar graphs, pie charts, scatter plots, line plots, all of these are the pictorial representations, right? So that you can actually analyze your data in a very proper way and in a very given way. Okay, let's say you just are having any data, you just want to analyze that data. So pictorial representations are the very best way for analyzing out a data, because into that you just get out the knowledge of each and everything in a very detailed way and in a very simple way, right? So this is data analysis and visualization. So after this procedure, we have classification and clustering. This is the place where the machine learning models come into the role. This is the place, okay? So allow systems to automatically learn and improve from experience. So this is the place where machine learning needs. First one was your data preparation, that is okay. Second one was use of your Python programming language. Third is use of your machine learning. Fourth, predict trends and behavior patterns. Analysis of structured and unstructured data, that is comes into the machine learning only. So prediction as well comes into the machine learning, fine. So that is actually called as predictive analysis that will be performing. And at last here you have AI, that is simulation of human intelligence processes by machines and computers. So this is the place where you just come for the AI, fine. So hope you just got the idea regarding this particular thing. So the very first step was data preparation and get the data. Second was the data analysis and the visualization. Third was the classification and clustering. Fourth was the predictive analysis. And fifth was your AI. So this is basically how the AI actually works. This is how we just work with the AI, fine. Now, what are the applications of artificial intelligence? So these are industries impacted by the AI revolution. So we have healthcare, manufacturing, transportation, education, information technology, business intelligence, supply chain management, construction, retail, cyber security. Each and every field is nowadays using the artificial intelligence. So these are all the fields where AI is actually used. Right, you can just use it in any place. Let's say business intelligence, you take IT, you take education, you take transportation, you take healthcare, anywhere you can just apply out the AI techniques and tools, fine. Now we'll be discussing about the last topic, that what are the career in the artificial intelligence. So basically there are 7 topmost jobs which you can go after learning the AI. The first one is the robotic scientist. As I mentioned in my definition as well in the very starting, when I told you about the definition of AI, there only I just gave you the example for the for the robotics, right? Robotics scientist you can go for a big data engineer, you can go for a BI developer. This BI developer is actually one of the tools that is for the data visualization, that is Power BI, okay? So that is only the same thing. After that you can go as a data scientist, you can go as an ML engineer, you can go as a product manager, or you can go as a AI research scientist. So these are all the things which are actually covered into the AI field, right? When I just told you about that, what are the skills required and what is the career path. So in that, each of these things were mentioned properly, right? Some data science tools were mentioned, ML models were mentioned, and basically the big data was mentioned, some Python languages were mentioned, and some mathematics was also mentioned. So these are only the things which are used in all of these 7 jobs which I have wrote here: robotics, big data, BI developer, data scientist, ML engineer, product manager, and AI research scientist, right? So you can just properly go on with any of these, whatever you are just comfortable with, fine. So hope you had just got a clear and a fair idea regarding that. First of all, what is artificial intelligence, how we can just tell out that what is AI in very much simple language. After that, what are the skills required which you should have for the going into the AI field, right? So here I just gave you an overview. Then in here for the AI career path, I just told you about each and everything in very detail, that how you should move on for learning the AI, and what are the things that are needed, what are the different fields that are needed. That are, sometimes you are learning data science, sometimes machine learning, sometimes deep learning. So these are all the things which are actually used for going into the field of AI. Then we had seen that how actually AI works. So there were 5 steps totally. That was first for data preparation, get data, data analysis and visualization, classification and clustering, predictive analysis, and at 5th we were having AI, right? Then we had seen that what are the applications of AI. So these were all the applications of AI that we had seen. And at last we had seen that what are the careers after going into the AI field. Right, so hope it has got each and everything in a very detailed way. I just do not think so that now is there anything left related to artificial intelligence that you do not have the knowledge of. Right, so hope you enjoyed the video. So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.